Welcome back, everybody, to another fabulous episode of Getting to Know You, an Owners Club exclusive podcast. Today we are featuring Linda Holtz. Hi, Linda.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, doing well. It sounds a little different. Where are you at?
So I'm actually on site at one of my properties right now. So this is live from the field.
Yay, perfect. I love it. And what time zone are you in?
I'm in Houston, so I'm on Central Time.
Okay, super. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Linda Holtz?
Yeah, so I'm originally from France. I moved to America about 13 years ago now. At the time, I jumped right into door-to-door sales, which obviously was the funnest part of the whole adventure. And eventually, somehow, it led me to property management. So that was my initial entry to real estate back in 2015. And I've been doing that ever since. And so now I focus on multifamily projects.
How did you find Owners Club?
Yes. So if I can give a shout out to my friend Nayeli, she is definitely the one who got me on. So Nayeli and I connected through being in the same educational program. And so, because this year's Squad Up Summit was in Dallas and I'm in Houston, her husband couldn't make it. So she asked me, "Hey, why don't you like meet me there? It's a short drive for you, and I think you're gonna get a lot of value out of it." And she was right because I did, and that's where I ended up joining Owners Club.
Squat Up is such a great place to come together like that, right? And find new partners and new friends. And shout out to her for inviting you in. I'm kind of glad her husband couldn't make it.
I know, right? Me too. Sorry.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that one of the reasons I ended up joining is because I didn't realize that he was in, but one of my partners in multifamily was part of Owners Club. And so once I met him at Squad Up Summit and meeting all the other wonderful people at the conference, I realized this is the community that I want to be a part of. So here we are.
Yeah, fantastic. And you mentioned you're in multifamily now. Is that what you're currently working on?
Yes, correct. So that's why I say I'm live from one of my properties. This is a 128 unit project that we've been working on since pretty much Christmas.
How did this become yours?
Yeah, so it's funny because I was just telling the whole story to one of my partners who's here visiting this property with me. So basically, like I mentioned, I got in property management a very long time ago, and my first property was a smaller multifamily. It was a triplex, but that's kind of what gave us the bug, my husband and I, to want to scale. And so when we moved to Texas, we couldn't find as many smaller multifamilies as we wanted. But instead, we ended up finding a mastermind to teach us how to buy larger apartment complexes. So we kind of jumped into that with both feet and started looking for our first acquisition. And it took a while, a lot of groups out there, especially educational groups, they tell you your life will be completely different by next year. And I always like to tell people the truth and nothing but the truth. And sometimes it's not as rosy as it sounds. But I think that if you stick to it and if you stay like persistent, it does things do happen. And so for us, the way this one specifically came to us was through relationships. We've always been very big on networking a lot. Again, that's why I'm in Owners Club, right? And and so we've always been very big on networking. And eventually, a gentleman who knew where we were and what our specialty was, which the two that we were focused on at the time was investor relations and asset management. And that person knew that was what we wanted to do on our first deal. And he knew that we were in Houston. And he connected us to a team that was already buying this property. And it was a lot of back and forth. But eventually, we were brought onto the team and we closed on that one in at the end of January. I think January 31st, if I remember correctly.
What is your title? What would you say? Are you the asset manager or the property management company?
Good distinction. So I am on the asset management team and boots on the ground. So there's a couple of us on the team, but my husband and I are the only ones who are actually in Houston. And we're also on the investor relations side for the investors that we brought onto the project. I'm sorry, I think there was another part to your question that I'm blanking on right now. Did I
I
answer
w-
it?
yeah, I was just asking asset management versus property management and
Yes.
what your role is, one or the other.
Yes. So property management is really like the team who is day to day at the property, right? Like handling the leases, handling the maintenance, the work orders, the capital projects. Asset management is the team who's in charge, like within the GP team, meaning within the active team that's purchasing, managing, and selling the multifamily. So not the passive investors. Within the active team, the asset managers are the people who manage the manager. So they're the ones who actually review the financials every month, make sure that we're on track with the business plan, and oversee every project over the property managers. Like the property manager is the chief, I guess, chief of staff. And we're right above them, making sure that, hey, you're managing the property for us the way that we want it done according to the business plan.
How can someone bring value to you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love this question. So for us, we're always looking for deals and always looking for investors. So anybody who wants to be passive, I always say my goal is to help as many people as I can learn that they can buy apartment complexes. You don't have to be a billionaire. You don't have to be BlackRock. I started real estate myself, buying a triplex and then eventually single family homes, and then next thing I knew, now we have a portfolio of 193 units. Now, it is through syndication. So that means we don't own all 100% of those 193 units. But at the same time, this is the portfolio that we have. And so, because of that, my goal is to teach as many people as I can that this is possible. So, anyone who wants to bring me those investors who don't realize that it's doable, I'm happy to educate them. I'm happy to bring them value, show them what can be done, and refer them to deals, whether it's my own or other people's that I know. And then obviously deals, we're always on the lookout to expand the portfolio. So if anybody has a multifamily in the Texas Triangle area that they need an asset manager for or an investor relations person for, they can call me.
Excellent. How do you like to be contacted?
Yeah, so the place where I spend the most amount of time is definitely LinkedIn. So it's my name, Linda Holtz. My company is called M2RE. It stands for Married to Real Estate because it's me and my husband. So you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at M2RETX. And then our website is married number two realestate.com. So all my contact info, email, phone number is on there. But like I said, LinkedIn is where I spend all my time. So feel free to DM me there too.
Excellent to know. And I actually have one follow-up question. Where do you
Of
see
course.
yourself in 1 year?
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
yeah, it's June 1st, 2026.
I love it. I love this question. Well, I'll definitely be in Owners Club still. So if anybody's in that, feel free to reach out. Meeting new people every day within the community, and everyone is just as awesome as the next person. So I'll definitely continue to stay in that community. A couple of things that we have been working on is that this year we want to acquire a boutique hotel. And my Mount Everest, if you're an owners club, you know what I mean. My long term goal is to work on multi generational living and do that through investing in senior housing. So by next year, I would like to acquire my first co-living property or any type of like independent living that's targeted towards seniors.
All
And then,
right.
of course, continue to buy apartments.
Do a follow-up interview next year this time.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. So everyone who's watching, we're going to put her website in the show notes down below. Please hit subscribe and like and leave some comments for Linda. Give her a good old atta girl. She's doing awesome. She's taking it by the tail and just making things happen. I love it. Thank you, Linda. It was really, really nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on. And I will say, I'm a big believer that if we could all help just one person, even if it's not necessarily the person who helped us, I think it will make the world a better place. So if there's anything that I can do for anyone out there, don't hesitate to reach out.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.